Good morning. Good morning. How's it going? Chaos in the markets. Whew, I tell you. Morning, Kimberly. Morning, George. Morning, everybody else. I know there's a lot of you that watch this that don't talk, but that's cool. I mean, I'm here to provide information and insight into the markets, and you don't have to talk to me. That's cool. But I do enjoy the interaction, and I'm willing to talk back to you. So if you got questions about what's moving for today, what's going on, throw them in the chat. Let's go back and forth a little bit. We'll interact. So I got the white monster today, kind of waving the white flag on the markets. Can we find a bottom and move up? Now remember, on Fridays, if the market makes a lower low than we've seen for like a week, 2 weeks, typically that is not the lowest low. We will usually get continuation on Monday or Tuesday. So today, I've got my fingers crossed that we do not see another lower low and we move up off of yesterday's low. So, yeah. As always, all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. This presentation here, informational, educational, and fun. A little bit of entertainment, and not a recommendation to buy or sell anything. If you desire that personal financial advice, you got to go hire and consult a financial advisor. And let's kind of start here. S&P 500 got a little more pullback right here. Kind of holding the lows that we saw all the way back here in May. As I was talking about yesterday, we have gone nowhere in the market since May of last year. And really, if you wanted to zoom it out a little bit, we've just been trucking sideways since March of 21. And we made a big up, we made a little down, and we're just sideways for like 2 whole years now. What the heck, You're wondering why you're not making money in the markets? Sideways for 2 whole years. It's just chop at this point. Right? I mean, that's a tough game. Anyway, jobs report coming out today. Non-farm payrolls coming in a little hot, as they say. That was unemployment for yesterday. I was like, what? Yeah. The non-farm payrolls coming in 311, a little hot, but employment rate ticking up. Expecting 3.4, got 3.6. Those two things are a little bit at odds with each other. So, morning Valerie, morning Keenan. Morning, everybody. So, not so sure there. The market's popping a little bit on this news in the futures. Let's look at a couple things, though, before we go too deep. We were looking at the 3-day chart. Keep showing this chart yesterday. Right down, fully tested that 618 level. Tested the purple trend line. We could see a little poke below it. Just be careful. Remember, if we see that lower low today, likely we get continuation at least Monday or Tuesday next week. So, looking for this low to hold, though, from yesterday. Move higher from here. Get up out of here. At this point, we're going to have to see a break back over this high right here from just a couple days ago before we can get continuation higher. So, that's what I'm kind of keeping an eye on S&P 500. Now, yesterday in Discord, about 1:30 p.m., I zoomed out to an hourly chart and said, hey, if we break below 39.50, it looks like we're likely to see 38.80-ish on ES. And remember, ES is the S&P 500's futures. Let's check out what happened overnight. Right down here, 38.84 on the futures was the low. That is for the H contract, the March contract. That thing continued down lower to about that 38.84 low overnight, right at midnight Eastern time. And then we got a contract switch over and it popped a little bit. But interesting, right? I was able to foresee that further pullback in the markets. And we're getting a little rally this morning, and we'll talk about that here. Pull this over. And see, still holding the trend line. All right. S5FI getting dangerously close to that reversal zone. Usually if we touch down in the 20 or below, we get a violent reversal higher. So watch, don't get too overly bearish is my caution right now. I mean, we could push lower. Yes, we could get more S&P 500 stocks, below their 50-day moving average, but we're not likely to hang out below 20% for very long if we do. So just be careful here, all right? Don't get too overly bearish yet. Now, if we rally this back up in here and things are looking weak, then you get bearish. But right now, watch out for a bounce. Like over here, excuse me, over here, we saw a big bounce and then push down. Right? Over here, that was like the high into August. We rolled over, saw a little bounce action here, and then went for the low in October. And actually, where the market made its low, it was coming up off the bottom. So keep in mind, these little indicators kind of show you it's almost like an oscillator indicator right there. Well, like I talked about, ES pushing down all the way to the bottom of that range. That's funny. I drew this box on here months ago, and we just traded right back down to the bottom of that box one more time. We've been here, back here, we were here, we were here, we were here, and we came back down here one more time. Can we hold here, or are we going to go down and test this box? Time's going to tell, but we got a little green doji forming right now. We break out over yesterday's down move, and that can be positive for ES. Now, NASDAQ fully tested the roadmap line, and then with the contract rollover, it's popping up out of here. This looks positive. I mean, that's a much more positive kind of formation right there in the candles for NQ than on ES. Russell really had to test deep, came all the way down to this support line over here, and tested it. I was saying that the Russell had not done the 618 retrace. Well, now it did. That finished up the 618 retrace. So this can be support. Like, it does not have to go lower, despite all the weird, funky news that's out there. Dollar continuing to pull back. And that was an unusual thing yesterday. The dollar was dropping as the market was dropping. Now the dollar is continuing to drop. This is all what I expected to see. This is going to be support. We may hang out there a day or two. If we get down there, and we'll kind of tell. If we break out over here above this little high on this little tiny doji now, that can lead the dollar higher. If we start breaking down here, we've got support here. If we start breaking down there, I mean, I've talked about this. And if anybody's unfamiliar, you can just let me know in the chat. So, hey, Pat, morning. Morning. Now, what caused yesterday's freak out? This sucker. Between SI, which was Silver Gate, and SIVB, which I did more research on. This is Silicon Valley Bank, SVB Financial Group. Silicon Valley Financial. This is a source of VC funding. It's been kind of on my radar for a couple of days. News stories about 81% of companies that aren't really making money, these startups and the kinds of companies that need venture capital funding, 81% of them right now do not have cash to last for 12 months. Think about that a second. All right, I've been harping on this about be careful, avoid things that don't make money. Well, the VC funding, this cash injection stuff that we've been seeing, for almost 20 years now, it's been pretty common. You can just come up with an idea, people throw money at you, and you can go try and build your idea. Well, that environment is not here any longer. So there's a whole generation of startup type business runners out there that aren't used to the environment where money is expensive. A lot of us traders have been around for a couple of these cycles. If I assume that we've all lived through the dot-com bust and the housing bust. If you're brand new and haven't lived through or traded those, or remember what it was like for that, well, companies go bankrupt. Companies go out of business. Even public listed companies, even financial groups and banks. Like, We saw Lehman Brothers blow up in the great financial crisis. All right. I mean, look at that. That was 106 at the close yesterday. Pre-market 39. This one's halted for news. And I mean, that would be great concern. Now, this is a bank of venture capital right here. And I mean, look at that. Down from almost 800 to 39. That would have been a heck of a short. But now, if it's halted and it stays halted indefinitely, and can stay halted indefinitely, you can't get out. You can't close it. So, dangerous stuff when you're playing the shorts going out of business. FAZ, this is 3x short bears. Due to that SVB freak out in the market, we saw lots of bank liquidation across the board. JPM, Bank of America, all these moving down. And FAZ was popping like crazy. This wasn't on my radar yesterday morning, but it showed up on the radar now. And it's getting more pop today. Be careful, though. Remember, this whole thing can turn on a dime and reverse. Bitcoin showing up on the stock twits. Nice pullback into the daily roadmap line. Looking for this thing to hold some support. It may do this 618 retrace of the whole big move up here. Getting awful darn close. Get that snapped right on there. Or not really snapped, but yeah. So getting really close to the 618 retrace. So we may see a push down to that 19,200 area. Find support there and start breaking back above the roadmap line. That can be the next run on Bitcoin. Kind of the same sort of move on Ethereum. Having here also. This one also on stock twits. Right down there near 618. So could watch for a move down to 1326. And we can see a bounce on Ethereum also. Now this one could, might not push down that low. It may hang out up here at the 50%. I've got that turned off right now. Yeah, it's sitting right at the 50% right now. That's what I thought. When I saw that tail right there, that 50% level right there. So, watch that. All right. SoFi, pushing down, filling that gap right there. That gap up, pushing down right there. DWAC, that looks pretty horrible. That was supposed to be Donald Trump's social media SPAC thing. 15 was like the launch price on this one. I think it was back here, and we're just coming right back. The bubble's over. Bubble, typical bubble, crazy, right back down to nothing. SBNY, well, it looks like we break below that black line I put on the chart, which we're right there. That thing can drop more. That's another bank. Don't know what they fund. Looks like it's a regional bank. So lots of banks seeing some trouble today and this week. Like a little freak out, financial freak out. So it's all about that venture capital too. Let's talk about JPM taking a big hit. Look at that right there. Right down to the 618 extension. And we could see a deeper retrace. You know, that was one big move up off the lows. We could see a 618 retrace. So JPM could be on its way down to this 120-ish area right down in here. Let's go ahead and draw a target right down in there. Very, very, I mean, the odds are increasing exponentially that we see another $10 shave off of JPM. SPY, of course, making the news. Looks like it's pushing a little lower pre-market, but we'll see how we actually open up. DOCU, I just grabbed a list of stuff moving. DOCU, that one was an earnings announcement on the list. Beating on the top, beating on the bottom, but the outlook probably not so great. Getting that 618 retrace more than likely. Moving up right here. Yep, right down into the 618 area. So right down in this zone, right in there. Looking for it to hold support there. We start breaking down below, say 47, then we can see a lower low on DOCU. ULTA, I don't think was on the list here. Let's go ahead and hit that one. ULTA, looks like they were beating on the top, beating on the bottom. And everybody keeps telling me the stores are packed out there. I've been looking for a final push up in this 575 area, but it looks like we're going to get a retrace. Could come down to the roadmap line again. That would be kind of what I would expect. And we got a push down. Let's see. It was about like this before. And we could see a retrace that goes down right near the roadmap line. It could take a little longer. Something like that. Just be on the watch out. It doesn't have to keep going exponentially higher. I mean, that was a rip. Eventually they run out of gas. They retrace to the roadmap line, recharge a little bit, and then they get the next pull. Or the next run, I should say. And this run right here, if we did that right off of here, look at that, puts it right in the target. So we may see a retrace very similar to this retrace right here, and then the next leg higher. But be careful on ULTA. SPXS was popping. We get above the roadmap line, that could go higher. This is a ultra short S&P 500. SPXL, of course, was dropping like a rock yesterday on the pullback. BAC, oh, market's open. BAC getting, not out of the woods. Looks like it's going to go lower low. I mean, that's one bottom, two bottom. Looking for a three bottom. There's BTBT. I was looking for a pullback on that one. I'll just hop over there since it just hit the alert. I was looking for a, right in this zone, right around $1. So skip down. May push down to that 94-cent area right there. Watch for support to form and a bounce out of here on BTBT. Popping back over to Tesla. Broke the support. Looks like this path may be likely. We may see that 618 retrace of that whole big move up. People that thought Tesla was going to the moon. Sorry, that move that I was talking about since mid-February looks like it may play out here. And we may see this push down in this 145, 155 area on Tesla. OKTA getting a little minor pullback to the roadmap line. If we can break out of that zone, yeah, look at that SPXS, hit my alert. Everything's coming alive here. ASML still on a path to visit the roadmap line right there. Find support, we can do another move like that one right there. Move like this. Take it up to 750 after we visit about this 580 area, looks like. SSY, nice pop up, but I don't know. We'll see what happens here. It could retrace, fill that gap back. It's got to get above the roadmap line and stay above it. So far, that's not happening. Stratasys is a 3D printer maker, manufacturer. Bought out MakerBot. Yeah. So I have a MakerBot that MakerBot gave to me when I did some freelance work for him. If you're diving on my YouTube channel and you go back in the history there, you see some videos and stuff I did for MakerBot. If you dig back in the old stuff on this channel. So looks like standardized, they lost money, just barely making money. That's you'd think 3D printer, hot industry, right? But they're not turning it into big cash on their bottom line. So definitely be careful on that one. Nvidia getting a pullback. I thought we'd see a pullback. And yeah, it's having trouble breaking through this confluence of resistance. We get on the upper side of 240 and stay up there. We can push up higher to that next level. But right now, looking like we may retrace, and we could come all the way back to the roadmap line, which is coming up quickly here. It's moving up quickly. We could have a date out here sometime in April where we go touch that roadmap line, test it. DEO getting a little pop on whatever news. Looks like a garbage chart though. Not going to chase it. Meta still working on getting through that resistance. In the face of weakness in the market, that thing held up amazingly well. Looks like it's going to break out and then go on the next run. I mean, that's some strength right there. It can always come down and retest the roadmap line, but this thing's holding up amazingly well. I would definitely have an alert set up here around 200. We start breaking up to 200. Very likely to add another 50% to that baby. Get up there around 300, 320. Test that gap fill from all the way back here a year ago in February 22. FNGU. That looks like, I don't know. I mean, that looks pretty horrible. That's a pretty horrible chart. That one's a decaying asset. That 10 for 1 split. So that one shows up a lot on these bearish days. Boot showing up. Boot hitting my alert. I'll have to look at that one here in a minute. SAP. That one's trying to turn the tides here. They're working on a move higher. Looks like resistance not until all the way up here. SAP's got a, oh, come on, click. There we go. SAP's got a nice room to run higher here. There's always the possibility it comes down, test the roadmap line again. It hadn't done it since back here in December. Starts pushing higher than this high right here. Probably on the path to go up there and test that resistance area. Roblox moving and maintaining above that breakout. This one, set an alert right here at this high. We get above that high, Roblox can take a run. Losing money, but a lot of kids play Roblox. If you hadn't heard of it, it's a big gaming platform. They've got it monetized to the nines. So gold miners 3x leverage. This one was getting a little move here. It's another one of those decaying assets, though. Be careful on these things. They tend to keep dropping. 10 for 1 split. That's dangerous. It was short-term bullish, but it can be long-term bearish. TLT also popping. Look at this move right there. Corresponds with that dollar dropping. We get that dollar continuing to drop. TLT pop. I was looking for a move up in this 115 area at the minimum. Maybe as high as 120 on this next move for TLT. All right, that's kind of what I got my eyes on for today. We get the market open, pushing down one more time. This chart, the simple chart, I've been showing off on YouTube since August. We may see this come down, test this area right here. We want it to hold these lows from back here in December and the turn of the year. Right here, that's kind of like the line in the sand for me. This orange zone, want to see that hold around 3,800 at the, that's another 100 points coming off of here. We start below there, watch out below. We can make a lower low than we saw in October. So right now, looks like we're hunting for support on S&P 500. All right. Any questions before I wrap this puppy up? Yeah, no, the halving event for Bitcoin. No, that's next year. That's mid-March 24. Yeah, SBNY, Services Crypto Exchanges. Yeah, makes sense. SBNY was getting hit. Yeah, I just answered the halving event is next year for Bitcoin. All right. All right. Thanks for coming, everybody. I had a lot more participation. I love it. Remember, the account you save may be your own. If you want to see what I got to say on Monday when I go live at 9:15 in the morning, make sure you're subscribed. Hit the notification bell, like the little bell icon down there with the little hash marks. Make sure it's turned on. Say all notifications. That way you get, if YouTube feels like sending you an alert, they'll send you an alert and tell you I'm going live. And I'll see you on Monday. Be careful out there. If you're in Discord, come chat with me. And if you want to get in Discord, check it out. The link in the description. $5 to get you in. So, see y'all later. Bye, everybody.